In this video, we will go over how to prepare your samples to run in the DSC Autosampler. You will prepare your samples on the benchtop outside in Lab 4203. There is a dedicated benchtop and it's labeled TGA and DSC Prep Station. You will prepare your samples here or at your home institution. For air-sensitive samples, you'll have to prepare them in a glove box. To prepare them in a glove box here, you will have to go through glove box training. Otherwise, you can prepare them at your home institution in your own glove box and then bring them on site to run in the DSC. On the benchtop, there are two boxes labeled DSC dies. You can use either one, including the one that says TGA and DSC dies. Inside the box, you will see that there are various die sets and also pans and lids. You'll see that there is T0 lid, T0 hermetic lid, and T0 pan. The colored die corresponds to the color on the box. So if there is a black strip, then you'll use a black die. And then if there is a blue and a black strip, it means you can use either blue or black for the bottom, but your top will depend on the lid that you choose. So if you choose a T0 pan black bottom, you'll need to use the T0 black top. And then you'll need to use a T0 hermetic lid if you use a T0 blue bottom. There is only one correct bottom, but there are two different tops that you can choose from. From the top, there's a flat, which is for either powders or liquid, and then a concaved top, which is more for pellets. Here we have chosen the T0 pans. We will carefully take off the lid, being very careful to not spill the pans everywhere. Then with tweezers, we'll take out 2 cups. Be very careful when picking up these cups as they are quite malleable and any pressure will cause them to bend, deform, or be dented. Then we'll carefully put the cap back on and then we'll move on to the T0 lid. Also, we'll carefully remove this cap. And then we'll also carefully take out 2 lids. The lids are also quite malleable, so be careful when taking them out. If you happen to accidentally dent them, do not use them as they will affect your samples. We'll put the lid back on and then we'll put it back into the box. Now we have 2 sample sets. Next, we will weigh the pan. You'll open the balance, you'll put in 1 piece of weigh paper, you'll close the balance doors, and you'll tare it until you get a stable 0 milligram reading. Then we'll open the door, put in a cup, and put in a lid next to each other, not on top of each other. Then we'll close the door, and then you'll get your pan mass. You'll write this value down as it is important later to put into the software. Then you'll press tare again until you get the 0 milligram. Then you'll open the balance doors. I like to put my hands to the sides of the opened balance doors, so putting the samples into the pans is easier. You'll want to fill the pans about halfway if your samples do not reach 5 milligrams easily. Then you'll wait for the mass to stabilize and then you'll record the value. T0 lid and a T0 pan reference is always provided in the R1 slot with the mass recorded on the sticky note below the autosampler. If you are not using a T0 lid and a T0 pan, or you would like a new reference pan, you'll have to make your own reference pan when making your sample pan. You'll want to start off with a tared balance of 0 milligrams. Then you'll put in a new reference pan and a new reference lid into the center of the scale. You'll close the door and wait for the value to stabilize and record this reference pan mass. At this point, you should have 2 to 3 recorded values. 1. Pan mass, 2. Sample mass, and the third optional reference pan mass. Now, as we prepare to crimp the pans, we'll want to put the lid on top of the pan concaved in as such. Then, you'll want to carefully put the pan onto the bottom die. Now we'll take the top die and we will slide it into the top of the crimper. Then we'll take the bottom die, we'll put the pan into the bottom die and the bottom die into the bottom of the crimper. Pull the lever down, no force or pressure is needed, and then you'll take your die out, and then we'll pull the top die straight down and out. Then your pan is ready. These numbered trays are available on the prep station, or you can make your own from the stock room. These are used to transport your samples from the prep station into the DSC room. If you have recorded the weights of your pans and reference pans correctly, the numbered trays will be quite helpful. We are now ready to load our pans into the Autosampler. Remove the lid and place your reference into an R2, R3, R4, or R5 section. Usually the R1 is filled with a pre-made pre-weighed pan. Then put your sample into anything from 1 through 50 and make sure it is centered. Put the lid back on and make sure it's seated properly and flat. Once you have loaded your samples into the Autosampler, you are ready to press start in the software. Watch the next video, the software video, in order to know where to press the start button. Make sure you stay and watch that the DSC Autosampler puts in both pans into the cell and that it starts to collect data before you leave. Occasionally, the robot arm will only put in one pan into the cell, and when this happens, you'll need to press the stop button in the software. Once you've pressed the stop button, please contact the staff member for assistance. To know what pan or lid you'll need to check the guide that is attached on this page. We only provide a T0 hermetic lid and a T0 lid and a T0 pan. If you would like something else, you'll need to purchase it yourself. Make sure you watch the software video and the data collection and closeout video. If you run into any problems or have any questions, please contact the staff member. Thank you.